Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and today we're reviewing Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. Batch 131. I was lucky enough to find this bad boy on a local store's website one day when I was surfing their online store, and I was like, hey, guess what? Add to cart, buy it, and pick it up. This Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend bourbon is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys finished in Armagnac, sherry, and cognac casks. I paid $206 plus tax for this son of a batch, and today we're gonna find out if it was worth it or if I wish I could go back and reverse it. Thank you Into the AM for being the sponsor of today's video, longtime channel partner, longtime friends. IntoTheAM.com is your go-to place for the best clothing on the internet. And by the internet, I mean planet friggin' Earth. And if other planets out there in the universe have the internet, then I guarantee you that IntoTheAM.com is the best place to shop for clothing, even on their planet. IntoTheAM.com has everything, literally everything to cover your body in the most comfortable of ways. Jogger pants, they cover your legs and your pee-pee and your bottom super comfortably. They have underpants. If you want to put underpants under your jogger pants, I don't like to do it, but some people do. Tank tops, bomber jackets, basic tees, graphic tees, which they just dropped a bunch of brand new graphic tees. It's summertime, baby, so get into their tanks and shorts and tees. What I'm wearing today is the Into the AM Essential V-neck tee. It's super lightweight, it's pre-shrunk. Head over to intotheam.com/ADHD, use code ADHD at checkout, you'll save yourself 10%. Now that we've talked about today's video sponsor, let's talk about Joseph Magnus. As typical, the bottle is extra pretty. It's got the copper and the gold, and it just looks great. It's got the ribbed shaft. My bottle number is 394, and like I said, batch 131. This particular batch is 57.12% alcohol by volume, 114.24 proof. It is blended by the nose herself, Nancy Fraley. Friggin' love you, Nancy. And this bottle has been open since late January. Enjoy with your favorite cigar, dark chocolate, and good friends. Well, I can't smoke cigars in my garage because it's rented. I'm trying to wean off the chocolate because it used to be huge, but luckily for me, I have you, good friends. America. It splattered. It made a splatter. Chop. Joseph Magnus, if you're unaware, recently moved to Holland, Michigan, which is like a really cool little Dutch town, which is just south of Muskegon or Grand Haven on Michigan's western side. At that location is where this was finished and blended by Nancy Fraley. Like previous versions of the cigar blend, this 131 batch has whiskey in it that was distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. But unlike the other versions of cigar blend, batch 131 is in the latter versions, the later versions, the most current versions, and there's no age statement yet associated with this batch. Seemingly, the cigar blends really ramped up in production and they started getting pumped out faster and faster, but as that happened, the age statements kind of fell off. I have a sample here of cigar blend batch 66, which my wife picked up for me at the same store a year prior. So after I taste this, I'm gonna taste the cigar blend batch 66, which is age stated, and find out whether or not the people out there, the critics, the reviewers, not me, but other reviewers who are saying that the cigar batch has fallen off a bit, if they're correct or not. I wanna compare it to a bit of an older batch to find out if their bitching is worth it or if they're just bitching because they're just like to bitch. Cigar blend batch 131 on the nose. Ooh. Wow, okay. Fruit cocktail. Cherries, peaches, pineapple. Yeah. little bit more darker fruits are coming out now. Yeah, okay, now the darkness is coming. Here comes the cloud cover because the darkness is upon us. Black cherry, prunes, pitted dates, a tiny hint of sulfur, just a tiny hint of sulfur. The nose is very, very good. There's people out there saying that there's been younger whiskey blended into these blends, which may or may not be the case, but off of the nose alone on batch 131, I'm not picking up any graininess, I'm not picking up any youngness or farminess. It just smells kind of like a glorious finished bourbon down the hatch. Wow. Yeah, dang. I'm gonna be honest here. Shit. I like this way more than I remembered. When I opened this bottle, this was not a Nick Lachey, Jessica Simpson love story. You know what I mean? I was not head over heels for it. This wasn't like Kim and Kanye. I was kind of like not all in. Man, after the first sip of this, I actually think this is really freaking good. Been a while since I've tasted it, but now that I've tasted it again, big surprises. Big surprises. Like a gender reveal party and you poof, you like blow up the balloons or like shoot the skeet or like hit the exploding baseball and it's orange. And you're like, the f does that mean? Totally surprised. Second sip. Way better than I remember. It's thick, it's oily, it's coating the mouth really well. It's dark fruit, but a bit sharp. That would be more like a blackberry note. It's a sharp, dark fruit. It's a blackberry. It's a freaking blackberry. It's a Motorola, baby. If you walk into an organic grocery store and you weren't wearing your hemp shirt and all the employees look at you like you just made the biggest sin, but there's nowhere to confess your sin, so you just have to walk through the store dealing with it. And then you come across the dark chocolate section and there's a bar. It's $11.33 and it says 88% cacao infused with blackberry and fair trade coffee bits. That's kind of what this is. Third sip, the viscosity level seems to be dropping a bit. Third sip, it seems to be falling off just a tad. It's still very good. I would say 7.9 on the Joseph Magnus Cigar blend. Batch 131, it's very good. Let's see how it compares to batch 66. Are the snooty reviewers right? Has Joseph Magnus Cigar blend fallen off a bit? Let's find out tonight. This is batch 66. America. According to the Joseph Magnus website, batches 60 to 65 and 66 to 71, they're comprised of two larger coupomiers, two larger mother blends of 16 bourbon barrels ranging in age from 14.5 to 20 years old. Batch 66 is called Seven Swans is Swimming, 129.7 proof. So it's a higher proof point than the batch 131 and would be age stated at 14 years because the youngest barrel in this 16 barrel blend is 14.5 years. Oldest barrel being 20 years. Good grief. Batch 66. Shit. Okay, well, batch 66 is the scent version of the hottest lovemaking dream you had when you were like 19 years old. It's glorious. It's really, really good. Wow, were we spoiled? I drank an entire bottle of this. I don't want to be the person who says that this is different than this, but fuck. Tits on a turtle, that's good. If you bought a batch 66 and brought it home and tasted it and you fell in love with it because you're human, and then you went to a different store and saw a bottle of Cigar blend and it were batch 131, and you bought this because you loved this and you were expecting this to taste like that, I can see why you would be not happy, because this is very good. If you taste this first, batch 131, very good. But batch 66 is like a 9.1. It's absolutely ridiculously incredible. That batch 66 is jump out of an airplane, pull your parachute, and if it doesn't open, pull your secondary chute. And if it doesn't open, take a sip of batch 66 and you'll be smiling before you hit the ground, and probably after. It's that good. Batch 66 is a different animal. It's like a barracuda, you know what I mean? It's like an underwater cougar with fins, gills, sharp teeth, and the ability to jump to the top of a tree. My name is Matt, this is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on adapting and changing. And even if you don't change for the better, then make sure that you're still changing and being good. You know what I mean? Don't change and be bad, but change and still be good. We can't always better ourselves every step of the way, because as we get older, we're getting older. We're not gonna be able to jump as high as we used to, or we're not gonna be able to have the same old barrels that we used to. We can't sprint the 40-yard dash like we could when we were in our college years. We can't source 20-year-old bourbon barrels from Kentucky like we did in our college years. But just because we're getting older and things aren't as available as they were before doesn't mean that what we're doing now has to be bad. What I'm saying is, even though things have changed, we can still be good. We can still touch our toes. We can still walk on a treadmill at 4 miles an hour. We can still do it in the bedroom for 3 minutes. This went in a weird direction at the end. Some of that might have gotten edited out, who's to say? But if it didn't get edited out, then here's the other part of it. It should have been. It definitely should have been. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you, Nancy Fraley, for blending the shit out of delicious bourbon. Love you guys so much. See you next time. Good night.